Hey guys, Zix here. Time for another episode of Minesaga Skyblock. Today I'm going to start a little mini-series on villager farms. This farm, as many know, is not the most efficient thing in the world. It's kind of a lazy man's farm, so I wanted to start to go over some of the more efficient setups. But before you get to that point, you at least have to know how to make an initial farm, a simple farm. And so that's where we're going. That's where we're going today. And the whole purpose of this episode is to help new players. Those of you that are more advanced, oh my gosh, I haven't touched these in like 2 weeks. I bet you they are all full. I have completely forgotten about this. Yeah, who cares? Who cares? Why am I falling to my death? Back up. Fly with me, come fly, fly away. Up we go. Those of you that are more advanced, you may want to skip this episode. This is, like I said, this is for newer players. We're going to go over some of the basics of building farms, and we're going to start with 500 or less spawners, or 1 stack or less spawners. So the very first thing, the very most important thing, those of you getting started, you need to check the chunk border. Now on 1.10 and higher, you can hit F3 plus G. Now I have shaders on, so it's going to be a little glitchy, but F3 plus G will show you the chunk borders. It will show you the chunk borders. As a matter of fact, I'm going to turn shaders off for the purposes of this episode. Be right back. And we are back. Now you won't see that glitchy. Wow, it looks so different. It looks so different. So a very good practice to be in when you are building a farm, when you're just getting started, mind you, like I said, some of the more experienced players aren't going to need to do this. You're going to want to build an edge all the way around. All the way around. Boop. I don't have a pick on me. The heck? Where's my silk? Where, oh, where is my silk touch? Whatever. Where could my baby be? The Lord took her away from me. And I like to just clean up a little bit here. Trying to tilde. I play too much mod at Minecraft. You tilde, it's ore mine in certain mod packs. Anywho. So you're going to build a lip around. Now, one thing that's important to know, if you are not in 1.10, if you are in the server mode, which is 1.8.9, it's a little more complicated, but not impossible. In fact, I'm going to cut away right now just to show you exactly what you need to do in 1.8.9 to find the chunk borders. Right back. Okay, here we find ourselves in version 1.8.9. As you can see in the top, I tried to move my mouse to show you. But as you can see in the top left corner, it says Minecraft 1.8.9. So, how do we find the chunk borders in 1.8.99? It's quite easy, actually. All you do is see where it says XYZ. Then below that says block. Then below that says chunk. That is how you find the chunk borders. See, as I move, it changes. It changes the X and the Z. Obviously, the Y is changing because I'm going up and down. But we're not worried about that. We're only worried about the X and Z, which is the first and third thing. So see how it says 0? That is going to be number 1 on the chunk border. So we could put a block on that, and then we're going to walk this way until we see another 0. Bam. Then we're going to go this way until we see 15. I'm sorry, I went the wrong direction. We're going this way until we see 15. Or you can count 16 blocks, one or the other. This is now a new chunk. This right here is a line for a whole chunk. Now, if we go back in this direction, you can see we're going up. We're going up. 15. This right here is the edge of this side. Where are we at? 12. I probably should have did this on flat land, huh? 14, 15. 15. This is two sides of a border of a chunk. Now to make it easy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is a chunk border. Very, very easy. Of course, it is easier to do so. See how it goes 15, 0. Now we're 15 of the next chunk. 0 would be 1 and 15 would be 16 if you're thinking if you don't like zeros. It's not as easy as F3 plus G. However, in 1.8.9, F3 plus G does not do anything. So this is the only way to do it. But that is it. Okay, go back to what we were previously showing. And we are back. Interesting, huh? Interesting. Okay. Now we can get rid of F3. We don't need that. So we have the chunk borders. The next step is to decide how we want to kill these guys. There are two main methods. There's lava and there's dropper. Depending on the resources that you have is going to make a big factor in how you do this. If you do not have tier 3 hoppers or tier 2 hoppers with a void, really you don't need a void, but we'll get there. If you don't have any kind of tiered hoppers whatsoever, if you're a brand new player, you've just started, and you don't have any tiered hoppers, you're going to want to use dropper. 100% you're going to use dropper. Do not use lava. Lava used to be efficient. However, with some of the patches they have made, it is impossible to make a lava farm that does not burn some of the drops. And if you want to tell me otherwise, prove it. Prove it. Because I have built many a farm, many a farm. As a matter of fact, oh my gosh, I think build your bot. You guys recognize this bad boy, this monstrosity. As you can see, the way this farm worked is the water would push the villagers, and then they fall through the schematic, and then they get to this point and they swim up. They hit that wall, they swim up, they hit this lava, and then the drops go at their feet. The problem is that while this used to be perfect, for some reason, whatever they patched, whatever they changed, it no longer works. Most of the drops will go at their feet and go here, but some of them will pop up and they'll end up in the lava and they burn and they go away, and it's bad. It's bad news bears. So now, if you have T3s, by all means, drop them in a pool of lava. They'll collect in the T3s and you're good to go. Just keep an eye on it because as you add more spawners, you need to add more hoppers, obviously. And over time, you're going to get to a point where you're going to end up burning it anyway. Personally, I prefer droppers. So we just found the center. It's center as much as you can. Technically, it's an even number. So this is the center because there's the middle, there's the middle. This is technically the center, but we don't need to worry about that. We just want to be on one block. How you do this, like what height, is kind of important too. If you're checking the F3, you want to make sure you're at least 107 blocks up. See how we're at Y64? That means we're going to need to go up to at least 107. Hello. Boop. And boop. There, good enough. And then this is going to be the bottom of the spawner, or the bottom of our dropping square. Not the bottom of the spawners, but the bottom of our dropping squares. Now we can go ahead. If you're dealing with one stack of spawners, you only need to be a minimum of 4 blocks away. 4 blocks away. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Because they spawn in a 3-block radius. Now I like to add security and go one more. And so now we're going to do that all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boop. Because often they kind of spawn on the edge, or they kind of move as they fall, which is a very weird mechanic, but it happens. And now you're going to say to yourself, or maybe you'll say to Zix, Zix, why are you making only a 1 wide hole? Well, 500 spawners is not going to produce more than 1 stack of villagers. So you only need a 1 wide hole. When you have less than a 1 wide hole, when you have bigger than a 1 wide hole, when you have more than 1 stack of villagers and you have a 1 wide hole, what they'll end up doing is 1 will spawn here, 1 will spawn here, and then they'll kind of hop around the center, and they'll go, hey, ooh, ooh, and they're going to be stuck there, and they won't fall, and it's annoying. And the only way to fix it is to fly into them and go, hey, stupid. So you want to be mindful of that. This, again, I'm going to say this, probably going to say this more than once. This farm is not to be used with more than 1 stack of spawners. With more than 1 stack of spawners, we're going to have a different farm, and I'm going to build that farm for you guys in the next episode. But for this episode, we're focusing on this, and we are just about done here. Actually, I gotta clean it up. Can't leave it. Can't leave it like that. No, not glass. No, not fish. Oop. And of course, since we're 4 away, it will work perfectly. In a bigger farm, we have to be a little bit more creative with the water. So at this point, assuming we had a we didn't have these blocks in the way, they now are falling enough blocks. Here is another thing to keep in mind. You want to be at least 3 blocks from the bottom spawner, or from the spawner. If you put the, let's say I don't have my silk, I don't want to place this. Let's say we put it here. What ends up happening is the villagers are swimming and they get kind of stuck on the block and then they fall. And it slows down the time it takes for them to die. Therefore, I'm just going to have to find, I have it somewhere. Is that it right there? There it is. Get out of my face, stupid. Is that efficiency 5? I think it was efficiency 5. And anytime you're slowing down the villagers, you're hurting your efficiency. This right here, we're technically done up here. And of course, see how he floats up? Now he's going to fall and he's going to land on that and not die. That's okay. You or your alt obviously are going to stand. I mean, really, you don't have to stand right there, but it's just the best place to stand because it's on top. It makes sense. And you don't really want the villagers to spawn here. So we're gonna put 1 block. Just 1 little block just to make sure that they don't spawn on top here. And then they're going to spawn everywhere around here. The killing zone. Killing zone. Now, I know I just said that there's technically 2 ways. There's 2 ways to kill them. There's actually 3, believe it or not. You can also drop them into the void. And if you have tiered hoppers, it will still collect their drops. I've already proven that before on camera. I don't want to do it. I shouldn't have done that. It's all right. As we're coming down here, all the way. We're gonna go all the way down to the build bottom. We're gonna come up 1. Find our center again, which I think is right here. It's hard to tell. Yeah, that's it. So this, and here is where we're going to collect. Now, 2 things to keep in mind. I have tier 3, so I'm just going to do this. And now everything that falls down here, there's nothing loading it, so it's not going to fall down. But everything that falls down here is going to hit this and die. Of course, we would, under normal circumstances, do pillars all the way up. For the purposes of this video, it's not necessary. But we would do pillars all the way up just to make sure that they fall on top of the hopper. Otherwise, sometimes they'll fall like next to the hopper. I know it's a little strange. You'd think they would fall perfectly straight, but they don't. They simply do not. If you do not have tiered hoppers, if you only have regular hoppers, this isn't going to work for you. Let me get multi-block pick here. It's not going to work for you. So we have other options. Of course, if you have tier 1, boy, I wish I could break all of that in one go. Boy, I wish I hadn't did FP5. If you have tier 1s, or tier 2s, you need some other way to sell them. Usually you would need some other way to sell them. It's not the end of the world, but you can either have a minion with sell mode, in which case you could connect each minion with sell mode to 3 chests at level 1. Or you could do a void, but minions and cell modules are much cheaper than voids. As you can see, I have 2 voids, which you would just, which one? I mean, it's not exactly rocket science. You just hook up the void. You just hook up the void, just like so. Did I just lose that T3? No. Crap. FP was still on. Why didn't you guys tell me? It's all your fault. I don't need that much. Whatever. This is our drop zone. If by chance you do not have tiered hoppers, and you do not have void chests, and you do not have cell minions, the next best thing is to drop them onto regular old hoppers and create yourself a hopper chain to a chest. And you can always, as you advance, add a void somewhere in the hopper chain, or add a T3 to your setup, because as you grow, you're going to find yourself having a big lack. You're going to find yourself with more villager spawners than you have T3s. So if that is what we're doing, let's just go up a little bit. I don't have to do a whole big thing. Let me this. Grab a regular old hopper. Like so. So the villagers are going to drop down, and then they're going to start falling, and then they're going to end up. No. They're going to end up. You're going to end up collecting their drops, and the regular old hopper is just going to push them into the chests. And of course, you're going to do something like this. And so when you get stuff and things, it will split on both sides. That way, this doubles your potential for storage. And you could do this multiple times in different directions, but you really only have to do it twice. And even if you really want to get creative, you can go this way, and then you can bring them out on either side that way. But eventually, one little single hopper is not going to be able to handle. But hopefully at that point you're able to buy T3s, because when you get 500 spawners, you're going to start making money, and you're going to get. Oh, I haven't looked at this in forever. How many do I have? Wow, this just shows you how lazy I've been. You're gonna get tiered hoppers. It's gonna happen, and when you start to get tiered hoppers, and maybe you don't have a whole lot, you can hook them up into their own hopper chains, and then assuming you get a cell wand, you should be able to get a cell wand. I mean, they're basically like candy. I mean, you could just go fly around spawn half the time, and they'll just be there. How cool would it be if that happened? Whoa. What is all that noise? What is all that nonsense? Or you could just ask, what you doing, the hero of time? Or you could just ask around. You guys checking out Mario's feet. You know, he looks like the policeman from YMCA, doesn't he? YMCA. Either that, or he just got home from like a gay bar or something. Anyway, I'm getting off topic here. Or you could just ask chat. Anybody got a cell wand? Even if it's like a limited use one. Hopefully I can do back. Please let me do back. Nice. Oh, even if it's like a limited use one. Whoa. if you don't have an unlimited, which aren't terribly rare, but you may not have one right away, you can just boop and boop. And then as your villager stuff builds up, you just come down here and you sell them and you make it money. Now, as your farm gets bigger and you still don't have auto sell, obviously you're going to need to add more and more chests to keep up. So just keep an eye on it as it goes, or else you're going to end up in a situation where you're going to have overflow and you're going to be wasting money / efficiency. But that should do it. This is a very simple farm. This is a very simple setup. Again, this is designed for newer players. I don't want to hear in the comments, oh, it's inefficient, you're stupid. I don't want to hear that because, like I said, this is for new people to get started. They don't need a super complicated thing that's going to make them 0.01% more money. They need something that's quick and very easy to build, and that is what this is. This is quick and very easy to build. And it'll work 99% of the time. Sometimes the villagers will get stuck on the lip. It does happen, but it's actually quite rare. And there's really no way around that. Like I said, you could just drop them into the void, or you can just drop them onto a giant platform of hoppers, but we're trying to save money here. So don't necessarily want to do that either. But that is another option. Whoa. That is another option. I guess it's not that much money. Yeah, see, without the tunnel, that what ends up happening. Stinking poppies. Why is that not empty to here? It is. It's just going all the way down. Whoa! It's just happening too fast for my eyes to see. I think I had an empty clear. You can break that whole style. I mean, it's up to you what you feel works for you, and then you can just do kind of like this thing here. Something along these lines. I mean, obviously this is a mess, but a hopper platform, and then they drop wherever they drop, and then the drops go into the. I prefer more of a channel, but you know, because it's cheaper. A lot of people can't buy all these hoppers, especially if you're going to do tiered hoppers on a platform. That can get expensive for a new player, so it's up to you. I'm trying to give you different options, different things that you can do, so that you decide what's best for you. But that is going to do it for this episode. The next episode, we're going to get into more than one stack of spawners and a more efficient farm and simple farm to handle that. But that will be on Thursday. Thank you guys so very much for watching, and as always, take it easy.